everyone, welcome back. It is time for another wrestling review. Do not adjust your screen. That is not Campo.Reviews with me today. Campo.Reviews is on vacation. So I called up a friend of mine, my old buddy, Beer Monster Owen. We have been friends for about 10 years. We met playing WWE Supercard, believe it or not. We were on the same team for over 9 years and we're still friends, going strong. So Beer Monster Owen, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. How you doing, Johnny?
I'm doing fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you for filling in for Campo this week. It's really appreciated. From one wrestling fan to another, we're glad to have you.
I'm glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Perfect. So with that, we are going to be reviewing WWE's Elimination Chamber 2024 from Perth, Australia. So you have a Canadian and a Brit reviewing a show from Australia.
It makes a change for me not having to watch it at 4 a.m. in the morning.
Well, yeah. Whereas I was up at 5 a.m. to watch it. And then I went to work.
It was 10 a.m. for me.
Yeah. So it's a nice mid-morning watch for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I even got the missus to watch it with me, but she's not there yet. It's a work in progress, but she will be.
Same here. Same here. She's she'll watch the occasional show, but not like the big ones. She'll watch the big four.
Yeah. She was watching and I was having to rewind it and say, look at this, and she was playing games on her phone. But
yeah,
she was there in spirit.
Yeah, that's exactly. She was mine was downstairs on the Xbox playing. So we'll start. There was a pre-show match. It was the Kabuki Warriors against Candice LeRae and hometown hero Indy Hartwell for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match. This was just a match to get Indy in.
Absolutely.
It wasn't anything big. It wasn't anything special. We knew they weren't, me at least personally, I knew they weren't going to lose because there's a match against Bayley and Dakota Kai this coming Friday on SmackDown. So I think they want to keep the Kabuki Warriors strong going into Mania. But it was nice to get to see Indy get a little pop in her home.
Yeah, good feeling for her. You could see how much it meant to her.
Yeah, so it was just sad that we didn't have the Iconics on the show. That would have been...
I was hoping for a surprise.
Yeah.
They could have done a little run-in, or could have been in the crowd, or they could have come out with Indy. That would have been perfect.
Yeah, because I think which one's pregnant right now? I think one of them's pregnant. The one that's married to...
I don't think it's Sean Spears' partner. It's the other one. I think
it's the other one, right?
Jessica, is it?
Yeah, McKay. Jess McKay. Yeah.
Sure
Billy Kay was her name in WWE.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, but the Kabuki Warriors do go over. They retain the championship. Like I said, they're facing Bayley and Dakota Kai this coming Friday on SmackDown. That's probably going to be the match where we find out whether Dakota is on Bayley's side or not, or if she's just playing the game.
What are your thoughts on that? Do you think she's going to?
No, I think Dakota is with Bayley 100%, just to even the odds a bit.
Yeah, then you're going to have like the Japanese faction, and then
keep because originally that was supposed to be Sasha Banks' spot, but clearly Sasha Banks is not coming back. She's definitely AEW bound.
Yeah,
so they needed.
Be interesting to watch. One thing I found since Triple H is in charge is it's not as easy to predict what's going on. I mean,
yeah,
the chamber itself, that whole pay-per-view was quite predictable for me.
The two chamber matches, I was surprised. Well, I mean, yeah, all the matches really were pretty predictable. Like I didn't think any of them were. So we'll get into the first chamber match. The main show starts off with the women's chamber match. You have Becky Lynch and Naomi to start with Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, and Tiffany Stratton in the confines.
Yes, and Tiff was getting a big reaction from the crowd. That was nice to see.
And usually Liv is such a fan favorite. They actually chanted bullshit when she pinned Tiff.
Yeah, she did. Yeah. So what I noticed mainly about this, I was a little bit disappointed. I wasn't sure if maybe she might have had a little bit of an injury, but Naomi was first eliminated. She wasn't in there that long. I don't know.
No, Naomi was eliminated before who's the last one that came in? Was it Rodriguez? No, Belair. She was eliminated long before Belair entered the ring.
Yeah, I thought to myself when I was watching it, Has she hurt herself? Is she injured?
She
Have they
may have hurt herself on that split-legged that she did when she jumped off the cage and did the splits on Becky.
possibly? Yeah, I wasn't sure if they'd called an audible or if that's how it was.
Yeah.
That's how it was booked.
Because I
But
think the elimination, we didn't even like the elimination was fast. It happened like off screen too. Like you didn't even see it.
yeah, I haven't checked any news sites today to see if
Yeah.
what sort of rumors are around or anything like that. But that to me seemed a little bit off. That
Yeah.
especially as she's a big return. I know she came back at the Rumble, but you would have thought
It's
she.
but usually with the chamber matches, like when they do chamber, when they do like war games or anything like that, they wait till everybody's in the ring before they start eliminating people. So that's what made it seem a little odd.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, it was an okay match. The women's, it was one of the better women's chamber matches I've seen. Like all four performers were actually really, really well in this. The only one that I kind of felt didn't belong there was Raquel Rodriguez. As high as they are on her, I don't see her. She didn't fit in.
Yeah, I don't think she's quite at that level yet.
Yeah, and the funny thing is Tiff, like she just started a year ago and she's head and shoulders above everybody else that's kind of newer, I guess. Like
Yeah,
she's
from
not on a Becky level or a Naomi level, but she is up there. They need to strap the rocket on this girl right now.
especially if she keeps getting the crowd reactions like that.
Yeah.
And again, now Vince is not in charge. Not
Yeah.
sure if you're allowed to mention Vince on your channel.
Oh yeah, we talked about him ad nauseum, and we like we said on our channel, we don't support anything that he did. Like he was an absolute monster for doing what he did. But we do mention Vince. We can mention Chris Benoit if we want to. Like we don't have any taboos about mentioning people. All depends on the context that it's in. Like we don't obviously support what they did, but
Yeah,
if it's in
absolutely.
a wrestling context, we need to mention, we mention.
Yeah, well,
But
I was just thinking, now Vince is not there,
mhm.
we seem to, as fans, we seem to get what we want a bit more.
Yeah.
It's not my way or the highway, so to speak. It's
Well, like they called the audible on the whole Rock and Roman.
yeah, they did. Crowd reaction and they
Yeah, the
changed.
crowd was not having it. So The Rock, I guess, saw the opportunity, said, you know what, let me go full on heel again. And maybe get a little support behind Roman because like right now the bloodline storyline is dead. Like
It is.
there's no support behind it.
If they could have carried that Sammy storyline on forever, we'd
Yeah.
be happy. That was one of the best
There are
storylines.
rumors that Sammy is going to be winning Money in the Bank this year.
That would be good.
And it's here in Toronto. It's in Canada, so it's his home country too. So
They could have pulled the plug on him last time he was there.
yeah,
What was that?
it was
The
Elimination Chamber in Montreal.
last year.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was again, but they want to do something special with Roman, so
yeah.
right, let's not get away from the
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Topic at hand here. So
yeah,
after that, the eliminations came pretty fast and quick. After that, after like Liv eliminated Tiff, and then Bianca eliminated Raquel. Morgan eliminated Belair as well, and then right after Morgan eliminated Belair, like literally, Becky took advantage and pinned Liv. I was kind of hoping that we knew this was happening. We knew Becky versus Rhea Ripley was going to be from what we're saying is the one of the main events at Mania.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I'm not as high on Liv Morgan as everybody else is. I don't know what everybody sees in Morgan in terms of in-ring talent. Physically, I can understand what they see in Liv Morgan, but I've always thought Morgan, in terms of in-ring talent, she just misses. She misses by a half step. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it looks. Whenever I'm watching her, I always sort of like ready to quickly hide my face because she's going to land on her head or
Yeah,
a bit like that. But I can see, like you say, you can see why the fans like her. But
yeah,
for me, I agree. I wouldn't quite say she needs to go back to development. She's worked really hard, and if you watch her now from before, the
yeah.
differences. But yeah, and I think it's because they're trying to give her this sort of crazy gimmick where she'll jump off things and she'll do this. I don't think that works for her.
No, I don't think so either. She needs. I liked her NXT gimmick where she was like that the girl from like Queens or Long Island or whatever she was. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
the tough chick.
Yeah.
kind of
I don't-
gimmick. I think that works better for her.
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't know why my webcam seems to have gone all blurred on my face, but I'll take it.
That's fine. So Becky Lynch does go over. Becky Lynch will now be facing the winner of Rhea Ripley and Nia Jax later in the evening, which everything, like you said, seems predictable on this show. So we'll go into our next match, which is the Judgment Day defending the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship against the renamed British Strong Style of New Catch Republic. Now, these boys are from your hometown, aren't they?
They are actually from my hometown. Well, Tyler is from Dudley, which is an hour away, but Pete is from my hometown. Yeah. So I did hear on another channel once that it'd be quite apt if you could call them the Dudley Boys because
Yeah.
there's a place in England where they're from, pretty much.
But I think another tag team has a copyright on that.
I think so. Yeah, it would be.
Copyright infringement.
I know Vince and WWE got a lot of these names. They were Team
Well, they
3D
do
for a
own the
while,
team.
didn't they?
They do own the name Dudley because whenever they go anywhere else, they're known as Team 3D.
Yeah, but I prefer British Strong Style as the name. I think is it the New Catch Republic? It's
New Catch Republic. It just sounds weird. It's like when they changed Pete Dunne's name to Butch.
yeah, it's hard to get it over when you know them as something and suddenly there's something else.
Yeah.
But
I mean, the only one that's really taken is Gunther. Gunther, the name has kind of stuck with him.
yeah, I still sometimes call him Walter though.
Yeah. But I think
But,
because he's changed his physical appearance so much since he changed his name too.
yeah, it's a shame we couldn't see him on the card, but he's got his visa issues, hasn't he, where he has to stay in America for 6
In North
years.
America, yeah, before he can travel back. He can go to, I think North America and Europe are the two places he can still go to because he has an EU passport.
No, that's good. Yeah, I don't know much about American green cards, so I'll hold my hands up. That's not my strong point.
But yeah, I mean, this was a fine match. Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate, and then we see, and the review coming tomorrow, we're going to see Tyler Bate's former partner and Mustache Mountain as well.
Yeah.
So
I what I will say about this,
Mhm.
slightly deviating from the match, but Dominic Mysterio,
He's a heat magnet.
he's he's getting some of the biggest heat I've seen.
Yeah.
And I love it. When he came out of jail and he suddenly had looks a bit like your shirt, and
Right.
he had the
Right.
yeah, that
It's a
was
little bit more pink, but yeah.
yeah, that was incredible. That was some of the best.
Yeah.
And the fans love to boo him.
Yeah, they just, and it's not like bad heat, like
Yeah,
Baron Corbin has bad heat,
it's
like you know
not
what I mean.
X-Pac heat.
Xbox, yeah, exactly. It's not Xbox heat, but yeah, he's got good heat to the point where even
Yeah,
at some points in the show, they had to darken the crowd because everybody in the front row was flipping him off.
yeah. And I couldn't hear when he was announcing the Judgment Day because the boos were so loud. I
They
thought
also do turn his mic down a bit, though.
I did think to myself, surely he's not got a live mic.
Yeah,
It,
what they do is they pump the volume of the crowd a little bit more and turn the volume of the mic a little bit lower. So this way it sounds like which is a good tactic. I like that tactic. It's
yeah, it's nice. It works well. But yeah, Dom being the heat magnet and the Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate knocking him over
yeah,
off the apron, guaranteed pop.
yeah. Oh yeah, of
Excellent.
course.
Crowd loved it. That even if the crowd weren't into the match, which they were, that
Which
little
yeah,
spot alone will drag them back into it. And then when Dom pulls, I think it was Finn's leg
yeah.
under the rope, and he was hiding under the rope, and he was pulling his faces, and the crowd
We're just like on him. They were on him. It saved Finn from getting pinned. But unfortunately, the Judgment Day do go over. What I mean, not unfortunately, but the Judgment Day do go over. I was kind of hoping like a belt change, but there is talks at Mania that they're going to be splitting the belts. They're going to be giving a new belt at Mania.
Yes, I've heard that. I've heard that they are sort of want to keep the belts on the Judgment Day going into Mania, which
Yeah,
might be
talking
why.
until you get your camera back.
Oh,
Oh,
there
there
we
you
go.
are. Yeah. But yeah, I mean the Judgment Day do retain. The only thing is though, who's next in line for the belts?
I don't know because they were going wild with the Creed brothers. They seemed to have rocket strapped onto them.
Okay.
You got
Maybe DIY?
maybe. I'm not quite sure it works like it did in NXT. Something,
DIY worked because they had FTR to counter them.
yes. That I'm just finding I'd rather just watch them two go at it,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind it. Like, it'll be a good moment for the if the Creed brothers do face Judgment Day for the belts at Mania. I think that's a good opportunity for them because at least this way, by beating like a veteran team like the Judgment Day, like the team may not be that old, but the guys in the team are veterans and they know like it'd be a good push for them. So I could see the Creed brothers.
Yeah. One thing I did notice as well is how much chemistry Balor and Priest have got compared to what they used
Mhm.
to. You can really see that the time is,
It's
and
gonna
again,
make it's gonna make that turn mean a whole lot more when it comes.
absolutely, and because they're not teasing the tension as much anymore, just
No.
emphasizes how sort of strong their unit is.
And
But
can we
yeah,
talk about our truth? Our truth posted a video in Austria.
that's incredible.
Like his work on like he is like knocking it out of the park with his comedy segments with the Judgment Day. Like a team that's supposed to be taken so seriously is foiled by this comedic genius, basically.
Yeah, actually, that reminds me. I did hear a rumor that it might be
Oh,
Miz and
Miz and yeah,
R-Truth,
the awesome truth. Yeah.
Awesome Truth, yeah, which that could be good.
Yeah. If they do that for those belts and then give the Creeds the new belts.
Yeah,
I'll take that. Definitely be taking that.
they
But
could.
like we said, Judgment Day do go over. Any other thoughts on this match?
I really enjoyed the match. I
Yeah.
had nothing to say. Obviously, I love the coup de grace.
Yes. That always
Always,
looks, yeah.
it always makes me wince a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, I will say, as someone from Birmingham, England, for
Hmm.
them for them to call it the Birmingham Hammer,
The Birminghammer. Yeah. Let's talk about that
beautiful,
one.
absolutely beautiful.
That
Loved
was
it.
dad jokes at their finest.
Yeah, and it was good. I liked it.
Yeah. And it worked for them. It works completely for them. So with that, we're gonna go into the men's chamber match. It was Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, Kevin Owens, LA Knight, Logan Paul, and Randy Orton in the match. Um, it was this one did not Drew and LA Knight started, but this one didn't seem to hold my interest because I felt like they were telling the same story. Becky was the first one in the women's match. Drew was the first one in the men's match. So it's kind of like copy paste kind of thing.
Yeah. One thing that I was about this match, I was distracted by the shadow over the wrestlers the whole time.
Yes, because by that point the sun's already gone down, and the way the lighting structure was, it looked off. I guess it looked a little off.
Yeah, they were standing in the shadows doing their facial expressions and trying to
Hmm.
get the crowd going. But the crowd might have been able to see, but as a viewer on the TV, I was. I said to my girlfriend, I said, just look at this. I said, this is really off-putting for me.
Yeah, it threw me off. Maybe that's why this match didn't really hold my interest that much either. Like,
Yeah, I definitely made it fall a bit flat for me.
but they did pick up a little bit once. I think they eliminated, was it Bobby Lashley? AJ Styles ended up coming in through the open
Yes.
door, and he just decimated LA Knight, which gave him which got him eliminated.
Yeah. Which obviously they don't. They're trying to keep LA Knight strong, so it was a good way
Have
to
him
get it.
lose without getting pinned, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Um,
if this sets up an LA Knight versus AJ Styles feud?
I've seen AJ Styles have some of the best matches ever, so I'm excited.
Yeah.
Anything AJ,
But
I'm a big
I
fan
was
of.
kind of hoping they'd go the LA Knight. I thought they were, I was hoping for an LA Knight Logan Paul feud in this, but it looks like it's going to be Logan Paul and KO again at Mania.
No, I reckon it might be Randy
Randy and LA. Oh, yeah. By the way, yeah.
because when I was talking about predictability, I said to my girlfriend last night, I said Logan Paul's not left this match. He's still in the cage. He's
Yeah.
gonna, he's going to cost Randy Orton the title. Well, not the title or
But
the
the
biggest in
match,
the
yeah.
match. I
And
could
that's what
just
exactly what happened with the brass knuckles.
Yeah, it was. I must admit, I was a little bit last night. I would like to have seen more of Logan Paul. He didn't get any sort of high spots. He did one
Yeah,
crossbody off the top, but
off the top of the pod. Yeah, but he
it
didn't
was
really. Yeah, he wasn't his Logan Paul self either.
no. He didn't get much offense in. He didn't do a lot. He was just a whipping boy.
Yeah,
So,
and he played that little bit of chicken shit heel kind of thing too.
yeah, but I think it could have been more from him, and it's obviously not his fault. That's how he was
Yeah,
booked.
but I mean, you have five well-established people, I think three of which in that are former TNA world champions too.
Yeah, Drew.
Bobby Lashley and LA Knight.
Yeah, and then you had AJ Styles with the run in,
Yeah,
which will take us nicely over to our TNA review later.
yeah, later in the week. But yeah, so as we all established, well telegraphed from the beginning, we always knew it was going to be Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre ends up pinning Randy Orton with outside interference, which is funny because Drew was always complaining about how he was never able to beat Roman due to Solo and all them, and this is how he's been winning his matches.
It is, but I did quite. I like the heels myself, so
Yeah.
I did appreciate him doing the count that he normally does for the Claymore for the ref holding
Mhm.
his hand up. That was a good touch.
Yeah, it was. And I like heel Drew better than face Drew for sure.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, heel Drew is better.
Yeah.
He's
Um,
still, I think he's still sort of a tweener at the moment, though. He's in between, but once he properly goes,
once he beats, let's see, that's the thing. Our theory that we have with my co-host Campo is that Drew is beating Seth, but he's gonna lose to Damian that night.
you could be right, you know. I think he's definitely beating Seth because I think Seth's going to have some time off to,
Heal some injuries. I think he's got to do some reshoots for Captain America as well.
yeah. So I'd be, well, this is WWE and it's fair to say anything can happen at the moment. So you
Yeah,
never know.
you never know. You never know. But yeah, so our my theory is Judgment Day are losing the belts at Mania.
Yep.
Finn is going to blame Damian, going to kick Damian out of the group, and Damian's going to cash in, become world champ, and then you have your automatic feud with Finn and Damian.
I think, yeah, that's good. And then I think you can also, you'll be able to throw Drew back into the mix as well. So
Because
should
he
get,
needs, yeah,
yeah. I prefer Drew chasing the title as opposed to having it.
yeah. And keep using like the heel tactics, do whatever you can, and just keep getting foiled every time, right? Like,
It makes for good entertaining TV.
yeah. And you can stretch out the storyline a little bit more that way too, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So with that, we're going to go into our main event of the night. It is Rhea Ripley defending the World Women's Championship against Nia Jax. Again, Ripley, her home country, not her hometown, but I think she's from New South Wales.
Yeah, she's from Sydney,
Sydney, yeah.
and they were in Perth. So in terms of distance, it's a long way, but it's still
Yeah.
it's her home turf.
Country, yeah. And she got a huge pop. Like,
Yeah, she did. Yeah,
she was clearly like, even though she's supposed to be the heel, well, this was kind of more of a heel on heel dynamic in this match. But clearly they treated her as a baby face in this match.
yeah. Got to. It's nice to see her family there as well.
Yeah.
It was nice that they kept going to them.
Her sister looks just like her with blonde hair.
Yeah, she looks like Rhea when Rhea first arrived for the Mae
Yeah.
Young Classic. I wonder if she's into wrestling as well.
Ooh, that would be funny.
Yeah, I enjoyed the match. I thought Nia got a bit too much offense myself.
Yeah, that's something I've been noticing a lot lately. It's like the challenger is getting all the offense in, and not just in WWE, but everywhere. The challenger gets so much offense in, and then the champion retains with like some fluke maneuver, but except this time it wasn't a fluke maneuver. She like picked her up for the riptide.
She did. She got her over well. I noticed as well. I noticed when she Nia kicked her in the head. I noticed her earring rolling across the ring. Did you
One of her
notice that?
spacers got popped out. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I saw her tell the ref.
Yeah, Naya. There's a lot of people back behind the scenes are complaining that she's a little too dangerous in the ring. Like she's
Yes.
not as careful as she should be.
Yeah, she throws a few potatoes around, doesn't she?
Yeah,
But
and
she's a lot better since she came back than what she
yeah,
was. I've gone
but
out.
I still don't think she's at the main event level. And like I said, with a month before Mania, your main focus was going to be Rhea versus Becky Lynch, and I don't think they were going to do a title change at this point. And it's rare to see a title like a major title. It's rare to see before Mania.
Definitely, it's just not going to happen, is it?
Yeah, but like we said, Rhea Ripley does go over, and Rhea Ripley is champion. So we're gonna get Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch at Mania.
Yeah, that's the one that they've been working on
Yeah,
pretty much since last WrestleMania, isn't it? Subtle
yeah. Since
little,
Becky returned.
yes, and since they like meeting, walking through the backstages and bumping into each other, and
Hmm. There's been
it's
little seeds planted here and there,
yeah.
but
What,
overall, this was a decent show, though.
yeah, one thing I will mention,
Yeah.
the Grayson Waller effect.
Yes, I was gonna say that at the end. We'll talk about the Grayson Waller effect. That took up 45 minutes of the show.
I thought he would get a bit more of a strong reaction, being his hometown. But my takeaway from that is, did you notice the way that Austin Theory sold that stamp?
Oh yeah,
If you didn't, all of the people watching, if you did not watch that, go back and watch it, because that was RVD style selling. That
yeah.
is, I
That
missed that
was
stuff
top
so much.
notch. Yeah. Austin Theory, if he can hone himself just a little bit more, he has the potential to be one of the best heels in the company.
Yeah, and when he asked Cody if he thinks he was going to do it, and then it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Like he was doing all of the Rock's catchphrases and all
Yeah,
that. I think this is planting the seeds for a Waller versus Theory match.
yes, and I think that could happen as soon as Mania.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be happening. My question is Cody versus The Rock, is that night one and then Cody versus Roman is night two? Or are they're gonna do it because
Go on.
Cody definitely wants The Rock before Mania.
What I think, my personal opinion on this is, I think that it's going to happen night one, and then going into night two, I think Seth is going to come out and he's going to screw Cody, and he's going to say something along the lines of, "Why didn't you include me in this?" Or, I'm the workhorse champion. Why are you going for the Hollywood champion?
Yeah.
Almost
Because
feel
that
it
was the whole
disrespects
thing
him.
when he won the Rumble.
Absolutely. And I think him screwing him, I honestly think that could happen.
Yeah.
But then again, I say that, but I also think Seth's going to take some time off after Mania. So
It
unless
doesn't
he,
set up anything.
it doesn't, unless he sort of stops wrestling for a couple of months and takes time off that way to heal, as opposed to he's on the
Yeah.
show but he's not working.
Yeah. I think
That
that's why it's also the right time to take the belt off of him too.
Yeah, so he can. I know the feud with Cody is
Is
we've
long
had,
standing.
yeah, but that you'd have the biggest heel in the company then, wouldn't you? If
Yeah. I mean,
Seth
right now,
did that.
Seth is probably like, I mean, he's right behind Cody in terms of like
Yeah,
popularity with the crowd. Like
yeah, and LA
they're one
Knight,
and two.
yeah, and then throw LA Knight into the mix, and you've got your top three. They've sort of taken all of the steam from what Sammy had,
Yeah.
and
And
now,
focused it to LA Knight.
yeah, but yeah, Cody's number one and Seth's number two. But if could you imagine if Seth stopped the story from ending? He would be,
Yeah.
what do
He
they
would
say?
be the most hated person in the WWE, like in terms of like fan base.
Absolutely. And I prefer heel. So, like I say, heel Seth. I like heel Seth.
Yeah.
But who knows?
And Seth right now is he's kind of tweener Seth as well. There's a lot of tweeners going on in WWE right now.
Yeah, that's not quite the Stone Cold in between.
I don't think anyone will ever recapture the magic of Stone Cold.
No, but I almost get the sort of like a little bit anti-hero type of face, but
Yeah.
it's been done with Stone Cold, and that was the one.
But that's the thing. It's been done ad nauseum. So now it's like it loses any meaning, it loses any effect, right?
Yeah, you need organically to
Yeah, like Cody, like ever since his return, he's organically become the top baby face in the company. Like,
yeah. I was quite surprised, to be honest, how over he is, because the fans turned on him in AEW, didn't they?
yeah.
Towards the end.
But clearly, I don't think he was the problem in AEW because if you're watching AEW right now, the story with the Bucks, I'm not a fan of.
I'll be the first to admit I am not the biggest fan of the Bucks. Don't get me wrong, I like them. They're good. They work good, but
Yeah,
for me, it's just super kick party all the time.
yeah,
And my favorite ever, HBK. So for people to just use his finishing move
as just fodder.
6 times in a match or even more.
Yeah.
What can I say? I'm going to end up sounding like Jim Cornette if I keep moaning about that.
So with that, we'll give this show a score. Since you're new to the show, you'll go first. What score would you give the show out of 10?
Um, I would say it was a solid event, sort of very predictable. There wasn't much surprise. I'd say seven,
Yeah,
7 out of
seven's a
10.
fair score. Seven's a fair score. I went with a 7.2, 7.2. Like, just like you, I agreed. Solid in-ring work. Like, the matches were entertaining, the matches were fun, but we knew the outcome of all the matches before they even took place
Yeah,
because it was a little bit predictable. Because at this point, like, you didn't have any, like, Gunther was not on the show, but even if he was, he wouldn't lose the belt at this point, right? Io wasn't on the show and she won't lose the belt
no,
because that's going to take away from the Bailey moment at Mania. We knew we were setting up Rhea versus Becky. We knew we were setting up Seth versus Drew. Cody and Roman is all but a foregone conclusion. So it's a very like a paint by numbers. This is the results, and just enjoy the in-ring work.
it was a good show though. I would
Yeah.
it wouldn't be one that I would say to someone who I'm trying to get a fan to watch.
No,
Uh,
it's a fun. If you're a WWE fan, then you'll definitely enjoy the show. Or if you like gimmick matches, go watch this. The only thing, like I was saying, I wanted to mention earlier, which I forgot, is I hate this no blood policy because a little bit of color in the Elimination Chamber match would have made like even if LA Knight was bleeding just a little bit.
or like when think it might have been Drew was just smashing Kevin Owens' head
Mhm. Into
into the
the
chain
plexi, yeah.
and into the chains as well.
Hmm.
Just yeah, just a little nick,
Yeah.
and it would have made the match.
Yeah. It would have made it all that much more special.
And I
But
mean,
go ahead. Sorry.
now that the WWE is owned by TKO, who have the UFC,
Hmm.
they should be well used to blood on the canvas.
Yeah, I think that may be changing post Mania.
Well, I suppose it's also you got health and safety these days. It's not
Yeah.
allowing it, is it? But a little bit of color would have made the
Yeah.
match made
Yeah.
definitely.
But I think, like you said too, like with TKO owning, there's going to be the move to Netflix, so it's no longer on cable television.
Yeah,
So I think they may be able to go back to that TV 14 rating as opposed to the PG.
yeah. But it'll be interesting to see what
Yeah,
happens in the coming months. I must say, it's a good time to be a WWE fan.
I think it's a good time to be a wrestling fan in general.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
It's probably at its highest point since the Attitude Era, I think, right now.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
100%. I agree.
Well, Beer Monster Owen, thank you for joining me. He will be back later in the week. We are going to be doing a review of TNA's No Surrender. I am going to leave all his stuff in the link in the description box down below. So make sure you go and follow him. You got a Twitch channel, you got a Discord, you got all kinds of good things happening.
Yeah, I got Twitch, which I haven't streamed for a while, so that one might not be worth it. I've got YouTube, which is gaming orientated, but I am thinking about making sort of like a wrestling UFC sort of this sort of channel type thing. So
More
I'll try.
wrestling, the better it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That,
So
that,
he'll have all this stuff down in the description. Go ahead. Sorry.
thank you for having me.
Oh, no
Appreciate it.
problem. We look forward to our next review coming up later in the week. So
Yeah.
with that out of the way, guys, thanks again for joining us. And in the words of Kenny Omega, goodbye and good night.